A police witness testifies about the moment the Tori Stafford missing person case turned into a homicide investigation.
An International Women's Day will bring a number of events across the GTA. Humber News starts now.
Hello, it's Thursday, March 8th. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Andrea Hall. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Wendy Match. Ahead on our show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Andrea has our top story.
A police witness broke down in tears during testimony today in the case against Michael Rafferty. Detective Constable Sean Kelly participated in the investigation of the April 2009 disappearance of 8-year-old Tori Stafford. Kelly says the case turned from a missing person to a homicide investigation the day Terry Lynn McClintock confessed to police. McClintock is serving a life sentence and is expected to testify as a Crown witness next week. Stafford's mother, Tara McDonald, took the stand yesterday, saying she met McClintock months before Stafford went missing. McDonald testified she illegally purchased OxyContin from McClintock's mother. Rafferty has pled not guilty to first-degree murder, sexual assault causing bodily harm, and abduction.
Smokers beware. The Ontario community of Georgina, near Lake Simcoe, is just a puff away from enacting one of Ontario's toughest anti-smoking bylaws. And Georgina is just one of many municipalities shifting their anti-smoking laws to the outdoors. Reporter Andrea Lawson has the story.
In recent years, smokers have been fighting a losing battle. They can't smoke in restaurants or bars. The beach could be next. The Lake Simcoe community of Georgina is debating a bylaw that would make people butt out in the town's trails, parks, and beaches. And they're not the only ones. They are part of a group of about 50 municipalities in Ontario, including Hamilton and Ottawa, who are taking similar steps. Smokers say they'll butt out if they have to.
Because I'm a smoker, but I've stepped on cigarettes at the beach before bare feet. It's not cool, so if they ban it, I'm all for it.
I understand why they wouldn't want that, but like designated smoking areas would make more sense.
Krista Murray, Senior Coordinator of Communications for the Canadian Cancer Society, says 1,000 people in Canada die of secondhand smoke every year. She says no level of secondhand smoke is safe. But Dr. Siegel, a professor at Boston University and a staunch supporter of banning smoking indoors, wrote in a recent blog post, "It's quite another thing to assert that fleeting secondhand smoke exposure, such as occurs in public parks, is a major public health problem requiring government intervention." As for Georgina, their bylaw will be brought before council on March 26th. Andrea Lawson, Humber News.
A former Mountie accused of killing an Ottawa police officer is testifying today. Kevin Gregson is charged with first-degree murder after stabbing Constable Eric Chapnick outside an Ottawa hospital in 2009. Gregson's lawyers say they will be using the Mental Health Act as a defense. During a 3-hour videotaped police interrogation, Gregson told police he was suicidal and his attempts with a knife were not working. He stabbed Chapnick in the neck because he wanted his gun, and as a former Mountie, he knew officers would be at the hospital. Gregson has pled not guilty.
The Hospital for Sick Children has received a gift of $40 million. Homebuilder Peter Gilligan is behind the largest single donation ever made to a Canadian pediatric hospital. The money will go towards a new $400 million Sick Kids Center for Research and Learning. Gilligan says the building will continue to put Toronto on the map and that he's at a stage in his life where he wants to give back. The center is set to open in 2013 and will house about 2,000 researchers.
20 visually impaired students from the Toronto District School Board found the courage to hit the ice in the city's West End. Some of Toronto's youngest visually impaired hockey players spent the afternoon learning how to skate with the charity Courage Canada. The group lesson was part of the organization's national campaign to teach young students to play hockey. The kids were taught the basics of the game by members of the Ryerson Rams hockey team. Courage Canada founder Mark DeMontis started the organization after a rare optical condition ended his hockey career when he was 17.
Today marks the 101st anniversary of International Women's Day. This year's theme aims to recognize the critical role of rural women in underdeveloped countries. Humber College will celebrate the day by hearing from MTV's Jessie Cruikshank. Cruikshank will draw on her experience traveling to rural India and Kenya when speaking about women in the media. She will be at the North Campus Student Center at 2:30 p.m. today. Events celebrating women began this morning and will continue across the GTA. Groups will gather at the Humber Bay Arch Bridge in the Bloor Street Viaduct later today for the Join Me on the Bridge campaign. a global movement started in 2010 by women in Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Candles will be lit in honor of the women who continue to suffer in conflict areas. There will be a rally outside Queen's Park from 4 to 8 p.m. organized by the group We Talk Women with speeches beginning at 6 p.m.
When we come back, we'll have more news from across the country and around the world. Jara Bailey will have the sports news, and we'll have your weather forecast with Dylan McKenzie.
Yesterday's sun turned out to be more of a flirtatious fling than a long-lasting summer romance. Find out if the rendezvous will return with your 5-day weather forecast after the break.